Do you ever think of your death? Oops. I'll ask a question again. Do you ever think of your death and you're dying? See, just like this beautiful leaf that is getting ready to fall off its vine and become part of the soil of the earth's compost. And then this beautiful tree or bush will grow new leaves next season. It's the same with us. I recently got two beautiful granddaughters. One is a year old and one is 8 months old. And I look at them and they're just learning to do things, and it reminds me that I too was like that. I too was in my mom's tummy, and even before that, I was an egg. And I was born, so were you, and I grew up. And now I'm getting older, and just a matter of time when I too, like this leaf, will fall off and become part of the earth's compost. And if one doesn't think about these things once in a while, it can be quite frightening when you get to that point of death and dying. Most of my 22 years of nursing has been in the area of critical care, intensive care, and I spent a couple, I think 3 years or so in hospice. Hospice was probably the game changer for me. I've seen children die, young adults, middle and older adults die from some old age, but majority diseases. Cancer being the number one that I saw, and perhaps the next one would be heart disease. So we all will die. We all will transition to wherever we know not where. I think of death pretty often. And the more I think of death, the less fearful I am of death. I believe I'm at this point when I accept, and I'm accepting death as the normal and natural course in the cycle of life, the cycle of living, the life cycle, which is a circle. No beginning and no end, really. Because when we leave this world as we know it, we go to another world, huh? So yeah, I think it's a good practice to think about death sometimes. And I believe as you think about death and dying, you will, like me, understand that it's a natural course of this life cycle, and you too will begin to fear it less and less. And you too will realize that you need to live your best life now, because tomorrow is not promised. And that is one of the very reasons why I take the best care of myself. Because, you know what? I fear not death. This is what I fear: disability. Being sick and disabled, that I'm not able to care for myself and I have to depend on others to care for me. Some things are unavoidable if one is in a motor vehicle accident or something like that. And it is what it is, but there are thousands and thousands of people, young, middle, and old, in nursing homes and in their own homes, and they cannot do for themselves. They're disabled because they're sickly and fragile and frail, because they didn't take care of themselves. They ate bad, took very little or no time to exercise, stressed out, working, not enough sleep. It's amazing folks don't drink water. I challenge you today to give death some thoughts sometimes, and to make the decision today that you will take the best care of yourself, so that if you're lucky to grow old, you can be independent and enjoy your life. Like my dad at 88 years old and my mom at 85. Totally independent, strong and clear-minded. No dementia. And physically active. Because they took care of themselves. I saw the U.S. President-elect, Mr. Biden, running up the ramp to give his acceptance speech, and I was very impressed, because this man is 77 years old. He's not overweight. He's able to jog up the ramp, and that tells me a lot, that he's somewhat fit. And that is my goal in life. If you notice, Mr. Biden is not overweight. He's slender and slim and trim. Clear-minded if you listen to his speech. And if there's nothing that I admire about him, that is something. So fear not death. Death will come. Fear disability. Do the best you can to take the best care of yourself, so that you can enjoy life to the fullest, way into your later years, and hopefully not have to depend on anyone to wipe your butt.